Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are having some fun in this crazy start of the week. I actually recorded a bit earlier. I was at work and the week was unfolding, and I saw so much craziness on YouTube and over the news that I wanted to come home early and basically do a recording for you guys to kind of put some ice on all the craziness and go through what I've discussed in my previous video. For the record, I'm recording this uh, at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central European Time, and 4 p.m. London time, so GMT. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because on one side, I want to cover two things that I was wrong, and also some things that so far I got right, and also where I see us going from here. So one of the things that I got wrong, as you guys know, I've been pounding the table. If you go back to my videos in February and March 2024, I always said that after the halving, I was expecting Bitcoin to go to $47,000 to $52,000 and potentially have a week at like a little week at 45,000. Overnight, we went around $48,000 tonight. But I did say within 3 months after the halving, so that would be up to 19th of July, and we are in 5th of August. So in my view, I got that wrong. I got the range correct, but I got the time span wrong. And I would like to apologize because during my last video, I was making pretty much not a prediction, but kind of places where I could see a sell-off going into, and I will cover that on the stocks going in the next part of the video. And I did see 49,000 on Bitcoin and 2,100 to 2,250 on Ethereum. Unfortunately, I never thought, admitting it, I never thought we're going to go that low in one single day. I wasn't expecting to have a Black Monday kind of style in the Japanese stock market. So I wasn't expecting that. I had it in front of me when I was looking at the charts, but I didn't communicate it in the video. So in my view, that is wrong. I was wrong. We dropped down much more than I was expecting. So I want to start with that because I don't want people to think that I only talk about things that I got right. I also got to talk about things that I got wrong. Then I mentioned that I expected the S&P 500 to be, now this is the part I think so far I've gotten it correct. I was expecting the S&P 500 to stop somewhere between 5,000 to 500 to 5,150. I think we've gone to that range already, and we got a quick reversal from that. I was expecting the Nasdaq 100 to go to somewhere between 17,250 to 18,000. We went to 17,435, and we've gone up from there. I was expecting Dow Jones to stop somewhere between 37,500 and 38,500. So far we stopped at 38,499, so $1 away from the 38,500. And on the Russell, I mentioned, because it had less structure, that it could go to 2,000 to 2,025. I think at the worst we've gone to 1,994, so off by $6. So I think so far that expectation has been pretty accurate. I gave two options. I said I expected this week either to be a down week, potentially the last down week, before we start to resume going up, or and this was my opinion, but I had no clue about the Japanese stock market, but my opinion was we're probably going to start very red in the beginning of the week, and probably we're going to hit some of these levels that I just mentioned, and we're probably going to reverse up. So at the moment, it seems that we are kind of trying to reverse a little bit of those moves. The day is young. I can still be wrong. it can still go down further than I expect. Bitcoin has rebounded from 48,000 to 54,000 at the time of this recording. Once again, I've mentioned this in my previous video. Check the bonds. TLT is the only thing going up. That's typical when we have recession expectations and when we have panic in the market. So there's always a flight to quality. Look, guys, everybody knows the reasons for selling. Number one, the Japanese stock market got a terrible... oh, sorry, guys, let me know if you can hear me. The Japanese stock market got a terrible sell-off, which spurred fears across the globe. There are now recession fears in the US, based on the very weak job reports that, if you've been following this channel, we knew that we were looking for it. And also, we've mentioned the Fed should have cut rates already. And look at how much better things would have been if they already cut before. So we were right here in this channel on that one. So you have US recession combined with the Japanese complete destruction, and obviously the escalating tensions in the Middle East, which spurs the fear for harsher conflicts within the region. Now, one good thing is that all this fear, so now let's go to some of the good things. All these fears and recessionary fears will help Trump to get elected. So those are all positives for us that hold crypto. Number two, you don't need necessarily emergency rate cuts. There are other ways for the Fed and the Treasury put liquidity into the system. And basically, if you do an emergency rate cut, I'm afraid that's going to be bearish, because that will show you that a little sell-off in the stock market and everybody panics, or a little unemployment tick and everybody panics. So, but I thought we had a very strong economy, right? This is what Bidenomics, right? What happened? So I don't think you're going to see a emergency rate cut. I think you're probably going to see really some, like when you remember in March of, was it 2023? I think so, March of 2023, when the regional banks are going bankrupt, the Fed added 800 billion of liquidity into the markets without ever cutting rates. My point is, there are ways to inject liquidity without needing to create a panic by dropping interest rates 7 days or 8 days after a meeting where they told us that everything was going fine. Okay, because then they also lose face, so they will try to have the meeting in September. Probably they will cut 50 to 75 basis points at that time. Now, so those are the three big reasons. I think the market is oversold, in the sense that, okay, if we have a recession, we print money. We know how the story goes. Stocks were very much priced for perfection. And so it's a bit of a back to reality. Japan has way too much debt in that system, in which you cannot have even positive interest rates. You need negative interest rates. So when I'm here in the channel and I discuss the future of the United States in terms of interest rates, and I say, look at Japan, because we are basically 10, 15 years behind them, we're going to have negative Fed fund rate before the end of the decade, is one of my biggest predictions here in the channel. Let's see if I'm correct. And we'll then be able, that was going to be terrible for the average person, but it's going to be great for risk on assets. Once again, think about what something's going to happen in the future, how it can benefit you, instead of crying about how unfair it is and things that you cannot control. Now, when it comes to crypto, this is actually a funny thing. This big sell-off, you remember what I said in the beginning of the year? I said we were behaving according to previous cycles. However, price was too high for the cycle, meaning we never hit a new all-time high before the halving, which we did this time. And the prices were still very elevated for the time of the cycle that we were. So meaning that the sell-offs and the the going up and the going down was still consistent with the previous cycles, but the prices were too much elevated. And when I said that, it was the reality. There's no question about it. But actually, this sell-off, what it has done is, if you pull back, it put us where we should be in the cycle in terms of price as well. Okay, so if you pretend that we never hit the new all-time highs in March, which obviously we did, I'm just saying that, let's say that didn't happen, the price that we are now, 53, 52, 54, is about the price we should be in a completely copy-paste cycle, not only in terms of time, not only in terms of movement, but also in terms of price. I am going to risk, and one of the reasons that I wanted to also make this video as quickly as possible, I want to risk that Bitcoin has bottomed today, overnight, at 48,000. It filled the order that I was looking for, although 3 weeks later. So once again, I was wrong. It filled an area that I wanted to see filled. I see extreme fear in the market. It's video on YouTube after video on YouTube after video on YouTube about the Great Depression. Oh, by the way, something happened very interesting, which was in October 2022, Peter Schiff said, we are not witnessing crypto winter, we are witnessing crypto extinction. And this time, yesterday evening, he did an emergency Twitter live, Twitter spaces, for hours and hours. He immediately was calling for Black Mondays all over the globe, and particularly the US, of course, because by the way, it's curious, he predicted 18 Black Mondays since 2022, and the Black Monday that happened was actually in Japan, which is one of his favorite stock markets. Think about it. And he was saying that people were walking in a crypto graveyard. Crypto extinction, October 2022, crypto graveyard as Bitcoin dropped below 50K. I think, oh, by the way, Jim Cramer is extremely bearish. Great. All the news are extremely bearish. Everybody's expecting the Fed to come up urgently. Everybody's expecting massive sell downs from here. Everybody's expecting the worst recession since God knows when. Everybody's expecting the World War III. So I've never seen the sentiment so ugly and so in despair as I've seen now. So I am actually a bit confident to say that actually the option 2 for the stocks that I've mentioned in my last video is actually gonna happen. I think most likely we retested these levels and we potentially may be going up. I think Bitcoin went to my target of 47.52, and probably overnight it was the bottom. I feel very comfortable to say that. If I'm wrong, guys, feel free to completely destroy me in the comment section. As you know, guys, I'm not selling you anything. So at the end of the day, if I'm really wrong or right, does it really matter? I don't think so. But in any case, you know that I always welcome the criticism. I'm not here trying to come up with great excuses. It is the reality, and I've started the video by saying on what I believe I was wrong. So I do believe that we are in in a good place, in the sense of I think this is damaging enough to harm Kamala and Biden's presidency, but not enough to really damage the markets. TLT is going up, as I've mentioned. The bond market will tell you the future, and it's actually going up, which is good. That means liquidity is coming. Can it take a week? Can it take a month? Can it take 2 months? Sure. I'm inclined to say, because of the election coming in, that the Fed and the Treasury have an incentive to pump the liquidity yesterday to basically guarantee that we don't go much further from here on the downside. And I caught a lot of stuff 30-40% off that I wanted to buy, and honestly speaking, I thought I was not going to catch it. So I love a good old capitulation, big, fat, disgusting red candle. I love it. I love it because what I hate is when we spend 3 or 4 weeks basically doing the same move, but going down 2%, going up 1.2%, going down 0.8, going up 0.3, going down 3%, but then going up 2.25. My God, if you want to shake out weekends, and it's the time that we need to shake the last weekends that we have, you put them a big 12, 14, 15, 20% big red fat candle in their face, they all fly, they all don't understand 2 months ahead into the future, and they will all be buying my bags as we approach higher levels in the cycle. I've mentioned here before, if we do repeat the 2016-17 cycle, then by mid-August we should start to be going up on a more consistent basis. So with that, guys, I just wanted to give you a little bit of my perspective and a bit of a different perspective. You're going to see 1,000 emails about the end of the world today, about videos of faces like this, about sell everything, my God, it's over, with people crying blood. You're going to see all of this kind of stuff today. And I hope, and I know, look, guys, I'm not perfect. I was also, when I wake up, when I was in the middle of the night and I'm seeing this price action happening, I also feel it. I'm not a machine. I also feel the stress, the discomfort, everything. And then I force myself to do the thing that I really don't want to do, which is calm down, think it through, what has actually changed, and buy the things that I really like at huge discounts. And with that, guys, thank you very much for your support. Let me know if you want me to do a live stream sometime this week, and we can put some of this situation under checking and under some control. Expect also, third and fourth week of August to be at least a little bit less volatile. Once again, we were priced really for perfection, and because the currencies are becoming more and more fake, all these shakeouts that used to take 3, 4, 5 weeks to take place that now happen in 2, 3, 4 days, which for a lot of people who has never seen before, who's basically this is their first rodeo, I really understand how painful it can be. And with that, guys, thank you very much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget, drop that like and subscribe. If you want me to do a live stream this week, drop it in the comment section. Thank you.